All right. So, today is a day of learning, but not just about how to grow your business, but you're going to learn a bit about yourself. And, I've been doing this now for 13 years, and I've presented to thousands of people across the globe. I've personally worked one-on-one with hundreds of businesses in dozens of different industries. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter how many times I teach the same stuff that works on how to grow a business. If you don't have the right attitude, it doesn't matter. You're going to get nowhere. And, I was, when I had my transport company, I was in business with my father-in-law. Anybody in business with family, by the way? A couple of you? Yeah, okay. It's all right, we feel your pain. But I was in business with my father-in-law, and he was the type of person who would find the 12 reasons why something wouldn't work instead of the one why it would. Have you ever met someone like that before? Yeah? Hopefully not in the mirror, right? Because an uppercut if that's you. And it made it very difficult to do anything. I'd come up with ideas to grow the business. I'd come up with marketing ideas. I'd come up with ideas to build partnerships with other, similar industries or businesses. And he just always squashed them. And, it's so true. This here, the difference between a bad attitude and a good attitude. We have a way of sort of describing attitude, and we use this line to explain it. So above the line, three things happen. The first one is, hopefully you can all see that, we take what? Okay, everyone call that out. What do we take? Ownership. We take ownership, right? So if something's not going right in our life or in our business, guess who takes ownership for that? Hello? Yeah, you take ownership for that. We take ownership. So above the line, we take ownership. We're also, what are we? We're accountable. We're accountable for what happens in our business and our life. So if something doesn't go wrong, we're accountable. We take ownership and we are accountable. And the final one, above the line, is we are what? Everybody, what are we? So we take ownership, we are accountable, and we're responsible for what happens in our business and in our life. This is called playing above the line. And what this means is, just say your marketing doesn't work. We could blame the paper. We could blame Facebook. We could blame, just last week, has anybody got videos hosted with Vimeo, by the way? With Vimeo, yeah? Nice and high if you've got with Vimeo, all right. After today, you're going to move them. Okay, you're going to move them, and I'll tell you why. And this is taking ownership, right? Vimeo have a standard policy. They're a publicly broadcasted video, just like YouTube is, and they have standard terms and conditions that most of you have agreed to but haven't read. And they can actually remove your videos without warning. And that happened to us during the week. We had 300 different videos online, and somewhere, they won't even tell us what term and condition we didn't adhere to. 300 videos, and a lot of those are inside our client login portal, membership base. So 300 videos. So my team had to panic and upload 300 videos into a new platform. And, without any warning. Now, we've got to take ownership. I could blame Vimeo, but we've got to take ownership. Did we read the terms and conditions, yes or no? Probably not. Probably not. It's just another box you tick, isn't it? You think about online, you tick a box, you say yes, they update them, they send you an email, you delete it. No one reads that stuff, right? 300 videos gone, no warning, 300, imagine the amount of content that just disappeared like that. So if you're with Vimeo, swap, get out of there, because you just don't know. I couldn't even tell you what it was about our content that they didn't like, because when you read the terms and conditions, it's not clear. It's just not clear. I think, my IT guy said he thinks somebody started there at the beginning of this week that got bullied at school. And and he's just going through checking everything right now, because we weren't the only one. We know other people that have had their videos pulled down this week. And so if you're relying on something like that to run your business, wouldn't it make sense to have it on a more reliable platform? So take ownership and go, maybe I should have had it on a platform that had a different set of rules. So we use a thing called Wistia, which you can write down, W-I-S-T-I-A, Wistia. Yes, we did. And the good thing with Wistia, it's not publicly viewable, right? It's a private video hosting company, and you can pretty much host whatever you like there. Even, if you make movies at night, put them up there. It's not free, no. And that's the thing, right? It's the difference between a free service or a small payment versus a larger payment. But Wistia has we already had a Wistia account anyway. So actually, they do have a free account where you can upload, I think, up to 10 videos. So, but they certainly won't let us upload 300 for free because it's a lot of traffic going there. But we have to take ownership for that. Same with, if you run a marketing campaign that sucks, that doesn't work, you've got to take ownership for that. It's you that hasn't learned how to market. Yes, question. It's Wistia. Wistia. So if you run a marketing campaign that doesn't work, it's not that the paper didn't work or that Facebook didn't work or that whatever it was didn't work. It was that you sucked at writing marketing. Does that make sense? And the more we can take ownership. So if you've got somebody who's working for you that is not working out, guess who's responsible for that? Yeah, you hired them. Even worse, you kept them. Yes? And it's a problem I see more than not is people keeping people too long. Now, the reason they're not working out, though, is whose fault? Because you didn't train them. Why didn't you train them? Because you haven't got any systems to train them. And usually what happens, people hire people when they're busy, they chuck them into a job, they say, good luck. 3 months later, you're disappointed because they're not working out. You don't want to train them because you're worried if you train them, they might leave. I'd say, what happens if you don't train them and they stay? Which is what normally happens, yeah? And then you whinge to everybody else about how bad this employee is when it's your responsibility to either train them up or move them on. I have a FIFO rule in my business. Anyone know what FIFO stands for? Fit in or leave. That's the rule. That's the rule. So ownership, accountable and responsible. Now below the line, these people do these three things very well. The first one is what? Everybody, what do? They blame other people or blame the economy. Have you heard that? Blame the government. I was so happy when Julia Gillard got in. Not because I like Julia Gillard or even the Labor Party, but I just thought a redhead finally gets to run the country. She let us down, didn't she? She let the ringers down. But the reality is, a lot of people blame the government or blame the economic crisis or the fuel prices or the interest rates but how is that really affecting your business? Really? I mean, you think about it like this. People say to me, business is quiet because of the economy. Well, straight away I do this. I draw a pie chart. And I go, okay, what percentage of your market are you currently dealing with? What would it be? Sorry? Not even 1%. For most of you in this room, your share of your market would look like that line. It would be 0.001% or something like that. True or true? So even if it's a quiet time, could you go out and get more business, yes or no? In fact, it's the ideal time. Because what happens when a storm's coming? What do? We batten down the hatches, right? And the same thing is true in business. As soon as there's talk of an economic downturn or a recession that we have to have, people start to batten down the hatches. Guess what you do whilst all your competitors are battening down their hatches? You go looting. Right? That's what we do. Whilst they're not marketing to their prospects and not looking after their current customers, you go and steal them all. It's the best time. Yet I see people go, oh, we've got a recession. During the recession, my business doubled during that time. Doubled in that recession we had to have. Because I just kept marketing aggressively, and of course there's less people marketing, so guess what? Because even the sales reps, for the marketing companies, they come back to their sales manager and they go, well, how come you're not hitting your KPIs? And they go, well, it's just the recession. No one wants to buy advertising. True? You hear it all the time. It's just stupid. And so that's the first. The second thing that these people do, I can't spell, by the way. So we blame others. They make what? Everybody, they make a stack of excuses. Oh, but Ben, you don't understand. My business is different. Do you think I've heard that before? Oh, but Ben, you don't understand. It's easy to make excuses. Usually it's easier to make an excuse than just to get the task done. That's why people make excuses. True? And we don't have room for excuses in business. You just got to get on with it. You just got to make a decision. I'm going to get on with it. No excuses. When I had my transport company, I had 64 truck drivers. And they used to come in, let me tell you, they're like masters of excuses. And at that time, I didn't have a big printer or anything. I had a printer that printed out A4 sheets. So I put one letter on every A4 sheet from N all the way through to S. No excuses. And I stuck it up on my wall, the back of the ops room. And every time someone came in, I just pointed at the wall. No excuses. Because it is easy to make excuses. Oh, but Ben, I had to watch MasterChef. The final of Big Brother was on. You don't understand. My kids want to play with me when I get home. I hear it all the time. Instead of making excuses, you've got to start making reasons why it's important to get it done. And quite often, as much as I, flaunt the fact I don't have to work, I still work a fair bit. Why? Because I do the stuff that I love to do. And quite often it's after 10 o'clock at night. Everyone's in bed. And I don't watch television, ever. I don't even listen to the radio. When I'm in my car, I listen to podcasts or audio books or training audio. That's it. I don't listen to the radio. And when I get home, I do not watch television. I just do not. It's just a waste of time. A waste of time. And you talk to anybody that is successful, they will tell you that television is a waste of time. In fact, let's do this as an exercise very quickly. Just write down on the piece of paper in front of you how many hours a week you spend watching television. Just quickly. Let's just see how many hours it is. How many hours a week do you spend watching television? Call out some numbers. How many hours have we got? Be honest, in a safe environment. 15 to 20 hours? 2.5? 4? 14? 1 max? Excellent. Anybody got a 0 like me? Well done. Give those people a round of applause. Well done. Did anybody have more than 20 hours? Wow. Wow. Because you think about it, right? And a day really is 16 hours. If you take out sleeping and showering and dinner and lunch, really you've got 16 hours to utilise in that day. To think that you spend more than that per week just sitting in front of a television is kind of crazy, really, isn't it? Just cutting that in half. No matter whether you were 2 hours or you were 16 hours, cut it in half and use the other half to do some learning. Stop making excuses, because I bet you're the same people that say, but Ben, I don't have any time. Yes? Because I remember when I used to coach business people, every week, I'd go in and say, all right, what were we going to get done this week? And they said, what was on the homework list? And I'm going to do my marketing plan. I said, great, how'd you do with that? I didn't get it done. And I go, why didn't you get it done? They go, I was too busy. And then I go, I'd say, did you see that show during the week at MasterChef? Oh, yeah, I watched it. It was great. I went, you were too busy, were you? Yeah, busted. Now, I'm not saying don't take time to relax, but balance it, right? Balance it. I see too many people making this excuse that they don't have time. In fact, one of the most common things I hear when I ask people what their limiting factors are, one of them is time. Time's not your limiting factor. No one is speeding up or slowing down the clock. I said it's the great equaliser. You can't use that as an excuse. Time is not your limiting factor. It's your inability to manage it that is your limiting factor. And that's taking what? It's taking ownership. The last one here, I'll do it in a different colour. The last one below the line is what? Everybody, what is it? Which is not a river in Egypt. Some of you are just getting that. I know, I'm a dad, I get to tell bad dad jokes. You will lie to yourself with more ease than lie to somebody else. And I see it happening all the time. It's the old, I've got 15 quotes, they're just about to come over the line, I don't need to do any more prospecting. It's all this lying to yourself about, it's going to be okay, or it's okay, I'm really busy, I didn't get it done because I was sick, or... It's amazing, when you think about what's possible as human beings. I see some people do some amazing things. So I'm going to ask you, for the duration of today, is it all right if we all play above the line? Is that okay with everybody, yeah? Anybody that's not okay with? What about for the rest of your life? Can we all play above the line? Yeah, excellent. Now I want you to take this tool here, this flip chart, and use it with your team. Use it with your children. Use it with your family, use it with your friends, and just say to people, these are my rules now. We play above the line. Use it with your team. We play above the line. And the good thing about this is if someone does slip down here, I just say to my team when they start making excuses, I say, is that above or below the line? And if it's below the line, what do they say? It's below the line. They recognise the behaviour. It's not about the person anymore. Because you think about your business. If everyone in your business operated above the line 24/7, would it be a better place to be, yes or no? Yeah, of course it would be. Of course it would be. So really important. So that's, making sure we've got the right attitude.